Welcome to this week's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Aaron Massie, General Counsel at Beacon Funding. Thanks for joining me, Aaron.
Thanks, Jesse. First time caller, long time listener. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you on here, man. I've had the privilege of working with you for about 2.5 years now, and enjoy all the time. And look forward to kind of learning a little bit more about your background and kind of what got you in the industry here, and dive more into Beacon. So I guess I'll just kind of start off, Aaron. For those people who haven't had the privilege of meeting yet, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself in your career to date in equipment finance?
Yeah, so I'm a lawyer, so don't shoot me quite yet. We'll get into that. But I'm a lawyer. I was in law school, about 10 years ago. I worked in the government before going to law school. Graduated, worked a little bit in private practice on the corporate commercial side. Was looking for, a little bit of a change, get out of, private practice and get into something different. I kind of just stumbled into Beacon Funding and the equipment finance industry like most of us do accidentally. And I found, it's really interesting here to kind of, come in as an outsider and, try to guide a company into, making better decisions and smarter decisions and learning from scratch about how to work in equipment finance. And been at Beacon now for 8 years this fall, and it goes by super quick. And when you learn about all these aspects of a business, like it's really, earth-shattering to see how every department in a business works. And for a lot of times too, I'm not just a lawyer for the company. I do a lot on the operations side, and I could probably go through a whole laundry list of, different departments I kind of oversee and kind of work with. But it's a really busy life here at Beacon.
I, I've experienced that from you. I'm like, well, Aaron, who's going to do this? And you're just like, that's me. Or I'll ask somebody else, like, who's doing that? And it's like, that's Aaron. I'm like, what does that have to do with being an attorney? Like, there's like, Aaron's got this.
I mean, there's plenty of smart attorneys out there, and I'll let them do their thing. But I mean, I think I have a better skill set. I'm just more than legal, so got to put those
Well,
skills to use.
well, even the most recent event that they had at the funding conference, that was all you.
Oh yeah,
I don't think people know that.
add party planner to my LinkedIn page.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Party planner. It's rock and roll, dude. You did a fantastic job. You did a fantastic job. But well, thank you for that, Aaron. And so it's been 8.5 years. You're in the Northbrook office. You know, I guess just in the last 8 years, any kind of advice for people who are just getting in the industry and kind of what you've learned in your almost
If
decade in now?
I mean, just getting in, I think the biggest thing is, ask questions and make suggestions. I feel like that's a huge part of, how can you make your company better and how can you learn about what's going on? I mean, you can just sit there with your mouth shut, not do anything, come in at 9, leave at 5, be a robot, not doing anything. Or if you really want to, get your career started, ask those questions, see what you can do, suggest improvements. And I feel like anyone can go far with that mindset.
Be careful what you ask for, because if you make a
Yeah.
suggestion, they'd be like, all right, now you're in charge of that. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, it's the list.
All right. Do you mind kind of introducing Beacon Funding, Aaron?
So Beacon Funding is a unique kind of equipment finance company, and we've been around for what 35 years this fall. And we're unique in one way because we're an independent, not a bank, and not to, go on the banks, but being an independent gives us a lot of latitude to make decisions and, pivot and cater to a bunch of different, changes in the industry. We're also very niche focused. Like, there aren't many other, equipment finance companies out there that really try to hunker down on certain types of assets. So what makes Beacon unique is the fact that our main assets are, tow trucks, boom trucks, septic trucks. We're also really big in the decorated apparel industry, like screen printing and embroidery. And we're also trying to get more into the landscape industry right now. So we're moving more towards skid steers, ditch diggers, other trenchers, other the equipment and light construction used in the landscape industry. So we started out as a semi-captive in the early 90s in the screen printing industry as we worked very closely. One of our, I think, original founders was the head of a screen printing equipment manufacturer. And over the first, 18 years or so, up until about the 2008 recession, we pretty much only did the screen printing and kind of more in the embroidery uh, industries at that point. After the 2008 recession, we're like, okay, how can we expand into other industries, that are a little bit more recession resistant. And I'm assuming someone here, I don't know who made the call to move into towing, because people are always going to have cars break down, people are always going to run out of gas, people are always going to get repossessed. That towing industry might be something to focus on. And since 2008, we got a little bit bigger in the towing industry. We started to attend tow conventions and other industry conventions related to tow trucks and the ancillary products behind towing. And then over time, we're looking at more vocational work trucks, the boom trucks, like for the electrical workers and fixing power lines, and the boom trucks for tree trimmers. So over time, we're trying to find how to really get into these industries that, while everyone else in equipment finance tends to be a generalist, we're looking at being more a asset-based lender in every sense of the word.
And what does that provide to the organization that a generalist kind of wouldn't get?
So that industry expertise is something we kind of tout ourselves on too, because when we're underwriting credit for these specific, contracts for purchases of this equipment, we're willing to take a bigger risk on who we lend to. We might see, not the best credit, recent bankruptcies, but we see, a tow truck that looks pretty good. It holds its value really well. And in the event that we do have to repossess this truck, we're going to do a really good job at reselling it and remarketing it. If you're, a generalist and you have some equipment that you're not used to, you might have a hard time, you'll get pennies on the dollar, you might have to send it at auction. It gets really difficult, get your value back if you spend, let's say 100 grand on a piece of equipment, you repo it from a customer, and then you're stuck with this equipment that you have no idea how to dispose of, no idea how to remarket it, and you sell it for pennies on the dollar. For us, we have, online websites and Facebook groups and all these other channels to resell and remarket any, repossessed equipment we have, usually at our net investment or more. And we can take that risk because if we do have to repo, we might, get back our break even or make a profit if we need to.
Sure. Sure. And also, I know a lot of people say it's just business essential equipment, but
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, without the stuff that you guys are financing for the end lessor or lessee, I guess I should say, like they can't make any money.
Yeah. Well, it's always critical equipment. I mean, if you don't have your tow truck, you can't, if you're being paid by every tow, and if you're printing, shirts for a soccer team, that's your income source.
Sure. Sure. And then I know it's all the good reasons why asset discipline is big, but I'm sure there's always these things that kind of come across, and you probably look at the credit quality and you're just like, come on, Sam, let's have some fun.
Yeah, we'll roll, as he says, well, let's roll the dice. And I mean, every so often, every time we'll see, some asset that we'll finance for a repeat customer, and then sometimes too, we'll huddle up and after a default, and all the credit team will point fingers. Okay, who approved that one? Who approved that one? And sometimes it does get hard to get those trucks back, but our credit team's really good, and we got some good folks making these credit decisions, and looking at the data we get back to make these credit decisions in the most efficient way possible.
Perfect. And I guess talking about the tenure of employees and I guess kind of the Beacon culture, do you know what the average tenure of a Beacon employee is?
It's actually about 8 years on average, which is pretty good for the industry. And I know a lot of people here at Beacon that have been here, 15, 20 years. In my department here, operations, accounting, collections, most people have been here longer than I have. And they're like, we talk about, having to hire new people, and then we have to hire a new person. And we think, how do we hire people? It's been so long since we've had to hire somebody. We're going back to the drawing board just because our hiring isn't needed as much. Our sales side, we're always trying to hire, new, salespeople, generate more originations, but our operations, it's been the same people and everybody loves each other. So it's not like people are trying to get away from, other people in the company. We have a great, relationship amongst our employees. We try to, get industry awards. I know we were in the Monitor's best culture this year. We do a lot of employee engagement surveys, like for Crane's Business Magazine. They do a publication every year, which employees provide feedback, and it's really valuable feedback. We're always trying to solicit uh, surveys to our employees. How can we make our company better? What can we do? What's great? What's not so great? What can we fix? And then we look at those results from these surveys and we try to act on them. Change some policy, make people have more, time off, change, benefits based on employee feedback. So having these surveys where we can, get some employee feedback, win some awards, it's something that we try to do, and however we can learn to be a good employer. We also try to have a lot of events with the company. Like we have an events committee that I'm on, and every year we try to plan out all these activities throughout the course of the year. We do bowling and mini golf. Usually every summer we have a golf outing. As you mentioned, we have a nice new office in downtown Chicago. It's got a really nice rooftop. Every so often we'll have a happy hour out there with our sales team and anybody else who wants to come out there. Great people, great environment. Everyone loves going up there. I know in a couple of weeks we're going to be having a party in Sam's backyard, so party at the CEO's pool. Everybody behave.
That, oh, is it live streamed?
You
Can
probably
we
don't want
make
to see
it
what
live
happens
streamed?
there. What happens at Sam's house stays at Sam's house.
That's awesome. What is you don't have to answer this. What's the most ridiculous thing that you've gotten from an employee request?
That's a good question. Probably, cheaper food in the vending machine, or having a larger break room, or changing a lot of weird stuff comes in every so often. Or, I mean, usually the big one is everybody pay me more or something like that, but
It's very simple. Go make more and I'll pay you more.
or
There
or
you
or,
go.
or the credit approvals are too strict.
Okay, sure.
Take it up with
All right.
management.
So you're in Northbrook, you have the downtown office, but you also have remote employees throughout the country.
Yeah, I mean, we're all over. I mean, Beacon, back in the day, everybody was in the office in Chicago, or actually in Northbrook. Chicago office didn't really open up until 2016, 2017. And also prior to that, we also had a lot of our operational folks out in the Boston area, out that way. I mean, after COVID, everybody kind of dispersed a bit. We started a remote from work, or work from home remote policy, and it's worked out pretty well for us. I know everybody's got their own opinions on remote work, but in the whole, we found that remote work, made people more productive. People, left the office. I mean, here in Northbrook, there aren't that too many people that come in. It's a skeleton crew here, at least in this office right here. Our Chicago office, which is a lot nicer than this office, it has about 30, 35 salespeople, and that's our sales team that does all of our direct outbound calling, because most of our originations are direct to business. We don't do too much vendor business. We're playing around with it, but most of our originations come from right from the end user. So we have, 35 or so salespeople in our Chicago office making phone calls out all day. They have a big list of leads for the towing industry and all the other industries we work with, and they're calling these end users all day looking for new business. So they're all in Chicago, and then we have some more senior salespeople around the country. We have our docs and operational people, all around on the East Coast and in Texas. We got a handful of people out in the Seattle area, so we're all over. And then one other unique thing too is we also have an office in India, and out there it's staff augmentation. We get some other employees to help, mostly on the collection side and on the application development side. Beacon is also unique in the way that we have our own application development team that does a lot of our internal programming work, which is unique for a company of our stature. So here we are in the US and in India, all over, about 100 employees total. And I feel like even though we're all so far apart, we're still really close together. There's a lot of people I talk to on the phone every day in India, in Seattle. Everyone's all over the place, and everyone feels closer than they are.
Well, and you guys have made the investment in the infrastructure and systems to make everyone part of the same ecosystem,
Yeah,
which not a lot of organizations do, quite frankly.
yeah.
So,
But it's
all
nice.
right. Well,
But it's nice. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, I'm sure it's just nice as an employee because you're just like you're not on an island, even if you're by yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And like I like being able to go out and see the employees too. Like that's why we have these in-person events, just because, we want to have people that have face-to-face time. Like in my department here, I go into the office, once or twice a week. Some people come in every day, some people only come in for like a department lunch. And having a monthly department lunch makes me feel, closer to everybody. It's nice to see everybody's face, so often just to know that they exist and you can hear about their day and what's going on with their lives, and they're not just a virtual figure out there.
They're not just like me who just shows up every now and then. It's perfectly fine. I get
Everybody knows Jesse's just an AI chatbot or something. Doesn't exist.
it. Yeah. He stays out to the bar till 1 a.m, but don't worry, he'll be back at 7. It's fine.
Just a hologram. He's never hungover.
No, with that downtown office for salespeople, I mean, I think of, younger people just getting in the industry and everything else, and the metrics that you put in front of them and everything else. I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah. And
Downtown
that's the reason
Chicago.
that's the reason the office is there. Like it worked out really well because the younger kids, I mean the people we staff that office with are in their mid to late early to mid 20s, just out of college, and they want, a nice vibrant neighborhood. They all want to live in, downtown Chicago area. They want the nightlife. They're not, boring like us folks moving out to the suburbs. They're out there. They want to, have a good time. So having an office out there in this West Loop area where, Google and McDonald's and all those other, tech companies are, it's a good location to kind of foster that culture where they're coming in. We got some good sales management out there who's teaching them, day to day how to be an effective salesperson, and they're all doing a great job.
Well, and then you don't want that commute down there either.
No,
So,
not at all.
especially now.
Too much construction.
No,
One
it's
loves Chicago traffic.
always something, man. I'm gonna shift gears here a little bit, Aaron, if you don't mind, and talk about the new podcast you guys are adding to your website, and kind of what you guys are looking to achieve based on putting that content out there.
Yeah, so taking one step back when we're talking about Beacon, we have a lot of, focus on technology here and trying to get new technology to make us a more efficient and a more, a better company with the resources we have. And we found that we had a lot of material written up for our customers. On our website and on our Facebook page, we had a lot of employee videos and a lot of marketing material. And we took all that and we used AI to make these podcasts with all of this material that we had that was customer facing. So what we did was we fed a lot of this content into a AI engine to create these podcasts. And it's just right now we only have 4 out there, and they're all on Spotify. We're probably the only equipment finance company with a Spotify account. So it's Equipment Finance Navigator if anyone wants to look at it. But it's pretty much just some basic information on how to buy a tow truck or how to finance a tow truck, how to finance a skid steer, how do Section 179 tax deductions work. And it's pretty much, in easy to digest language that our end users can listen to. And it makes it a lot easier for us to talk to our customers. If our customers have that knowledge, they come in, they're educated on how to, finance the equipment that we do. And being able to educate our end users and our customers makes it easier for everybody because they know what they're going to get out of financing. It makes the whole closing process easier that we're not having to explain everything. And there's a lot of topics out there that, people in our industries or mostly our customers would like to know about, to help them make more informed decisions. So it's really exciting that we can use this technology, take all the material that we've written over the last couple of years, and put it in an easy to listen to. You can add it to your Spotify playlist, listen to it in the car. Maybe listen to it. Maybe you'll fall asleep listening to it at night. Who knows? But it's easy to have something there that's in a friendly, down to earth, format.
I think that was a subtle shot at my format, but it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Hey,
Be replaced by AI eventually. So.
Oh, you can't replace Jesse. You set the bar too high.
No, but from a technology perspective, I mean, August makes 20 years, Aaron, of me being in equipment finance, and the investment that you guys have put in the technology. I mean, anytime we show any of your platforms, like, I want that. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
And another thing that Beacon does differently than a lot of other companies is we prefer to normally, develop our own internal resources than go out and, buy software. I mean, we developed our own front end system. I mean, it's based on, Microsoft, but we add so much customization that, I mean, I think it blows everything else out of the water. and HR related systems and accounting related. So, like there are so many things that we spent developing that we did it because no one else offered it, and B, we did it because we wanted to tailor to our needs. It was a no-brainer for us to use our development team to make a custom solution for us. Not that we want to keep it away from everybody else because it's a secret, but it makes it so much easier when we have our own product that we set to our specifications for what we want, not something that another company says that that they tell us that we should want. So having all these internally developed systems, it makes everyone's lives a lot easier.
Also allows you to maybe play in a different credit environment that other people can't play with because they don't have access to the data that you guys can get to it again.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a data team, a development team. We have a whole wealth of data here that we're even trying to make our own credit scoring model here. Going back to several years worth of credit approvals, credit declines, and seeing, okay, what trends can we find for every defaulted deal that we have, and using that to make more informed credit decisions.
So when you joined Beacon 8 years ago, weren't you guys more of kind of a broker who just basically sold off pretty much everything?
Not quite. I mean, we've always had our own internal portfolio. So, I mean, it's been typically we try to sell half of it to, other funding sources and have, half within our own portfolio. I mean, our internal portfolio has grown a lot since then. I mean, our funding partners have changed since then, and our equipment has changed since then, and our methodology of credit underwriting has changed since then. But I mean, it's still pretty much been, we sell a lot, we hold a lot, or sell half, hold half. That hasn't changed too much.
How's that from an operational perspective? Because I know before, like, even if you sold, you don't care if they take servicing, but now even if you syndicate some stuff, you guys want to retain servicing.
Yeah.
From an
And
operational leader, like, how's that been? uh,
I mean, it's been
Last few years?
interesting. It's a lot of new questions and challenges that, I mean, I'm excited to solve these challenges, but it makes things a little bit different. It's a different kind of mindset working with these funding sources, trying to make sure that you're doing everything they want while keeping that customer contact. And the reason we wanted to serve this is because a lot of our business is repeat customers. We have customers that come back, 4 or 5 times and keep getting new equipment, and they want to keep working with the people that they have. While on the back end, we want to make sure that we have the capacity and the facilities to sell those contracts out there, that there's not too much exposure, and we can still work with that customer. So back in the day, when we weren't servicing these contracts, it made things a little bit more difficult for our customers, because if you would, sell 4 contracts to 4 funding sources, that customer had to contact every single funding source. They'd have different rules, different people,
Or
and it was just a hassle. So now, as we're servicing, it's a one-stop shop where a customer can contact the same people internally here at Beacon and work with that same person over and over without having to, deal with 4 different collections departments. And at the same time, we're trying to do this in the most efficient way possible. We're trying to make it so we don't have to go back and forth with funding sources over small problems. There's going to be, some friction every so often, and as long as everybody can sit down and work together and everyone's on the same
or
page, it's going to
or
work fine.
or yeah, I think of and also from your side of it, the legalese, understanding how that works in that environment too, right?
Yeah, and I try not to be the lawyer guy all the time. I'm more trying to be a relationship builder. I only try to be the lawyer when I have to. So I'm like, yeah, I'm the lawyer. I'm not, going to be the pain in the ass lawyer, but I'm going to come in with a legal background and explain if I ask for something or you ask for something, I'm going to explain why it's important, and kind of try to come into a solution that works for both of us in a reasonable way.
I'm just giving you crap, man.
Yeah.
So I guess speaking of your attorney side, um, what's new? I haven't heard any sky is falling stuff recently. It's more on the political climate stuff. But from
Yeah.
a legal perspective, anything new or that people should be
I mean,
thinking about?
nothing that everybody hasn't heard of. I mean, there's all this Section 1071 stuff and state disclosures that I'm sure everyone's been aware of, and how, 1071 might be going away, and the new face of state disclosures. There's plenty of other people out there who can speak about that a lot more eloquently than I can, but
Sure.
I mean, that was on everybody's minds for a while. When it comes to more of like the legal things, one thing I feel like people aren't talking about enough is, titling and vehicle issues, for either financing or leasing. And I spend a lot of my time, researching issues going on with vehicle titles and DMVs. I mean, like right now, too, like we have new emissions laws going back and forth where some states won't allow vehicles to be registered or titled if they don't pass an inspection. Their emissions aren't well enough. I know California had the issue where certain trucks over a certain age couldn't be titled or registered unless it was over a certain model year or the engine was replaced. We're seeing issues these days where the emission system is removed or it's what they call deleted, and it causes issues upon a truck inspection. So we're seeing all these issues where customers might not be able to get their truck legally on the road, and it's causing a lot of friction with getting liens perfected with us. And then the whole thing, just DMVs not working together. I could talk about this for hours and hours about how, state government. I mean, I used to work for the government up in Wisconsin before I went to law school. And I mean, it wasn't too bad up there, but these state DMVs, they're all 100% different. And us in the finance world, I feel like there needs to be more, work done where, some states like they have a certain paperwork requirement that has nothing to do with the other one. And they don't understand, well, the paperwork's coming from state A and they're asking for a certain form. Like, well, state A doesn't have this form. We can't give it to you. And it just makes me want to pull my hair out that, like, how is there not interoperability between, different states on these title issues where they have like the electronic titles and the paper titles and nothing is uniform. So I know you guys just came back from Washington the other week, so maybe there has to be some kind of, universal, title and registration for
You know
states.
what? You have to talk to Fishburne about that. It's never, I mean, I think I've been going there for 6 years and it's never been anything about titling. However, every time I talk to anyone who does title vehicles, I'm like, so how's your titling going? They're like, why? Can you fix it? It's like
Yeah.
95% of people like struggle with that.
Yeah. And then there's the whole thing with like toll violations where like as a lessor, we're getting all of our lessees, parking tickets, and that's a topic for another day too. But uh, I fought a lot of I fought a lot of state legal departments on this in the past and won every single one, but they're horribly inconsistent.
So that toll violation text message I keep getting, like
Yeah.
I pay attention to that one.
Yeah. You're lucky you don't have those in Arizona.
No, no, I giggle because I'm like, stop it, stop with your yeah titling. Let me know how if you ever fix that.
Yeah. We'll
It's
get there.
yeah, but awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. I guess my one of my last questions I have for you, Aaron, is so you've been in the industry for 8 years. I've seen you attend more and more conferences. What are your thoughts on the equipment finance industry?
I mean, it's been so nice, like learning about everybody and seeing people everywhere. I mean, everyone gets along so well, and everyone's so open to sharing their knowledge. I mean, I feel like everyone here is one big family. I mean, you can't escape anybody, which is a good thing or a bad thing, so up to however you want to put that. But it's nice that it is like a big family here, and it's a great networking opportunity. I'm on a lot of, committees for NEFA, and we're also ELFA members. And the fact that everybody is out there wanting to, connect to further this industry in such a, a loving and devoted way, it's really nice that everyone's coming together like that. And I've been happy that everyone's been helping me learn and I've been helping other people learn. And as far as I know, like I never had a bad experience with anybody in this industry. I haven't really, wanted to, slap anybody, which is a good thing. But it's nice that, everyone gets along and being able to, come together a few times a year over, a cocktail party. It's a good experience.
Perfect. So you heard that, everybody. He doesn't want to hit me yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's perfect. I guess I haven't pushed enough of your buttons yet. We'll get there. We'll get
Give it time.
there. I ask everyone, Aaron, who comes on here to give me a little fun fact about themselves. So, what
Yeah,
makes
well,
you tick outside of work?
what's a good fun fact? So in my free time, I'm like a big computer nerd. I do a lot of, like open source web, playing around
I
with
think
like
I learned that about
servers.
you in chat, like some AI stuff a little while back, and I was rather intrigued.
Yeah, so what I was trying to do was build my own AI engine where, that there's all these AI models out there and there's all these open source, platforms where you can run AI, locally. So it's not in the cloud. And what you can do is you can host it, at your house or at your business, and and it's all, self-contained. So you don't have to worry about, third parties using your data, and everything is local. And you can create your own data. It's a little bit more, experience needed, but you can run your own data models, put your own whether your own material that the AI engine runs off of. And I think it's really interesting how you can kind of create and start from scratch on these projects. And like it's not just like AI. I mean, it's kind of like creating like your own tools to help yourself stay organized. They have so many, projects that people work on online that are open source, and you can kind of play around with the projects other people have made and said, and you can. This is like all stuff that you can, host yourself and not have to, rely on Google or Apple. And being able to learn about that's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. But apparently you have too much extra time on your hands, so we have to make a few phone
Nah,
calls here, a few phones.
everyone knows I don't
But
sleep.
oh, what do you get, like 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, I was up at 5 today, close enough.
Jeez. All right. Nope, I can't do that. But
You need more coffee.
that's fantastic. So, Aaron, I guess my closing question I have for you, man, is why should someone want to do business with Aaron Massey? Beacon
Me specifically or Beacon? I
Go you first, man. This is about you.
feel like I'm at a job interview here. Well, well, I try to make sure that we're always making the smartest decisions possible, and we're kind of like working on technology and using our resources in the most efficient way possible, and trying to, be smart people. I mean, a lot of people can be difficult sometimes, not pointing fingers or saying names, but you just have to, think like a lawyer and just be reasonable and put all the facts together. Being organized and being fact specific, I mean, it's something I do naturally. And I ask questions like the couple when we first saw asking questions and making suggestions. I mean, I do that all the time, and I feel like it's been very successful for me.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for your time today. Congratulations on all your success in the first 8 years. I'm excited to kind of see what the future holds for you, and it's awesome working with you, man. And looking forward to the future of Beacon as well.
Thanks, Jesse.
We'll be talking soon. Thanks, Aaron.
All right.